Oh boy, here we go. COVID-19, racism, and job losses were all up for discussion. It's a loose term at the first U.S. presidential debate last night, but more often than not, the night dissolved into moments like this.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is,
radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is?
The back and forth between U.S. President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden routinely derailed from the topic at hand, despite the best efforts of moderator Chris Wallace. CNN's Karen Kaifa is with us this morning for the aftermath. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lindsey.
All right, Karen. So your colleague Jake Tapper said this. I'm going to quote, "That was a hot mess inside a dumpster fire, inside a train wreck. It was a disgrace. The American people lost last night. That was horrific." What reaction are you hearing from voters today?
Well, I think that it was expected that President Trump would come in somewhat aggressive, but even this went beyond what a lot of people were expecting from him. For those of us who have covered these debates for a very long time, this was surprising to see, particularly in a presidential debate where you have the incumbent president of the United States. But as you said, there was a lot of chaos on that stage. There was a lot of crosstalk. President Trump's strategy seemed to be just to bulldoze over Joe Biden and the moderator, Chris Wallace, even though his campaign had agreed to the rules of those debates and what the structure of that debate would be. So if you are one of the few undecided voters who remain here in the United States, it's a real question as to just how productive this process was for you last night, particularly if you came looking for the distinctions, especially among President Trump, trying to articulate what the policy might be for another 4 years if he were to be reelected, Lindsey.
Yeah, that's the really tough part. You know, those that were tuning in, wondering, okay, how's this going to affect me? Who's the better person for me? What do you think Trump and Biden have learned from last night that they'll take into the next debate?
Well, I think Joe Biden kind of knew what to expect from President Trump, but again, maybe not necessarily on the scale that he got last night. We know that he was studying tapes of President Trump's debates against Hillary Clinton back in 2016. But again, it may have been an expectation that as the sitting president of the United States versus just being this upstart candidate, as Trump was in 2015 and 2016, the approach might be a little bit different. Biden did come to the stage, you could see clearly, with some prepared things that he wanted to say directly to the American people using the platform that he had, among them about COVID-19 in particular, which has been a key issue of his campaign as he tries to make the case that President Trump severely mishandled the pandemic here in the United States. As for President Trump, we know that he did very little debate prep, and he had even said about 2 hours total, and really wanted to come to the stage, basically channeling what he does on the stage at his rallies. It was a bit of a question as to, with a severely limited number of people in that debate hall, how he might play to that. But it became clear that he was coming in ready to be very aggressive, to go on the attack, personal attacks about Joe Biden, raising questions about his son, Hunter Biden. So clearly he had somewhat of a strategy going in. The next debate will be a bit of a town hall format, so it will be interesting to see how that gets handled.
Absolutely. All right. CNN's Karen Kaifa. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.